Assembly Democrats are asking the Dane County District Attorney to investigate Governor Walker. The Democrats say Walker may have violated a ban on corporate donations to political candidates by raising money for the Wisconsin Club for Growth. Their complaint also alleges that Walker may have committed an ethics violation by telling reporters that a lot of people would question the need for additional money for district attorneys if Milwaukee County's DA, John Chisholm, continued to pursue the John Doe investigation. A spokesman for Governor Walker called the complaint frivolous. We're talking more about this now with Democratic State Representative Chris Taylor of Madison. Representative, it's good to have you back on the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
So we've heard a lot about the John Doe for a long period of time now. There may be some people in the state who say, wow, I'm weary of this. Why do we need a new investigation?
Well, I think the 1,300 pages of documents that were recently released by The Guardian really do highlight that we have some potential new criminal violations by Governor Walker, his campaign committee, Wisconsin Club for Growth, and some other corporations that seem to have violated Wisconsin's long-standing ban on accepting corporate donations. And there's also seems to be a pay-for-play scheme going on that also raises a lot of concerns. So these are new allegations. These are new facts. These are new potential criminal violations that have never been considered by a court, that have never been raised. And we think it's imperative that the district attorney investigate these potential crimes. They're very serious. These are felonies. And frankly, Mike, we don't have any other tools available to us for political investigations because the Republicans in the legislature and Governor Walker have taken them away. So this is really one of our only options left that we have.
I want to ask you about what the governor's spokesman, Joe Fadden, has had to say. And I mentioned earlier, he said this is a frivolous complaint that fails to acknowledge the facts. He went on to say that several courts shut down the baseless investigation on multiple occasions, and there's absolutely no evidence of any wrongdoing. You're saying that there are things in these documents that we're seeing for the first time that have not been settled by courts. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right. It's really, I think, very difficult to look at these documents and not conclude that there's some serious corruption going on in our government. You know, it looks like the governor had a scam going on where he raised corporate money for his re-election and the re-election of some Republican senators who were facing a recall, funneled these monies into Wisconsin Club for Growth, an entity that's supposed to be independent, that absolutely wasn't independent, that was controlled and coordinated with the governor and his campaign committee. They shared staff, they shared strategy. So it looks very much like the governor depended on Wisconsin Club for Growth and treated it as part of his campaign. That is prohibited under Wisconsin law. And it's for good reason. We want to make sure our elections are fair. We want to make sure that corporations aren't buying elections and unduly influencing politicians. Unfortunately, the other thing I think that these documents really make clear is that these corporations that gave big fat checks got big fat donation, got big fat benefits and big fat favors from the governor and the Republicans in our legislature. Look at lead paint. We had a lead paint, the owner of a lead paint company gave $500,000 in corporate money to Wisconsin Club for Growth, and in close proximity to two bills giving lead paint manufacturers immunity from lawsuits. Some of these lawsuits were brought by 170 sick kids who had been lead poisoned. So that's the kind of thing we're seeing, and that's why it's so serious and so important.
So Democrats will hear this from Republicans. Republicans will say, these are just simply political games. They're doing this in Dane County. You've explained why, but they're doing it in Dane County in part because you've got a prosecutor who might be sympathetic to the claims. So to this charge that it's just politics, it's Democratic politics as usual, you would say.
When you read these documents, you can see there are serious potential crimes here. And, you know, as a legislator, it's my job to make sure that we are taking action to make sure that we have a government accountable to the people and not these big corporate donors that seem to be influencing not just our elections, but the policies that are being passed in our state. The people of the state deserve that. That is our obligation.
I want to spend just the remaining time on presidential politics and talking about the race between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I want to ask you specifically about Madison. We've seen some signs in the polling at Marquette that Hillary Clinton is still trying to bring some people into the fold there, Bernie Sanders supporters, who are still thinking about maybe Jill Stein, maybe Gary Johnson. How confident are you that she's going to do she's going to have the kind of performance she needs in a place like Madison in this election cycle?
Well, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I represent one of the most progressive assembly districts probably in the state of Wisconsin, and I am seeing a lot of movement. There were a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters, no doubt, but I think this last debate really shows the contrast and what's at stake in this election. Hillary Clinton made a very strong case that she is going to be for working people, that she supports an economic system that works for everybody, not the system that Donald Trump has benefited from. That's really rigged to help the most wealthy and the most privileged. So I think she made a great case for that. I think she showed what her temperament is. She was very calm, very cool, had a great grasp of policy issues that my constituents care a lot about. My constituents are very concerned with all this money in politics. She made a commitment that she's going to work to try to get it out, as opposed to Donald Trump, who really just supports kind of more of the same. He hasn't really ever done anything for working people. He's certainly spent most of his life working for himself and making sure he benefited from this rigged economic system that we have. So I'm very confident that my community is going to come out very strongly for Hillary Clinton. It is a tight race. We've seen that in the polls. And I think the Hillary Clinton campaign is taking it very, very seriously.
Representative Chris Taylor, the Democrat from Madison. Good to have you back on the program.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time, you bet. And next, Paul Ryan. And never say never.